Back here on CBS Sports HQ, we're out in Atlanta. They know who will be their starting quarterback. Michael Penix Jr. takes over to start the 2025 NFL season, replacing veteran Kirk Cousins, and the future looks bright. For more on the expectations for Michael Penix Jr. this season, let's go ahead and welcome in Bryant McFadden, who joins us live from Falcons training camp that just wrapped up. B-Mac, you had a chance to chat with Penix just moments ago. What were some of your takeaways from the conversation?
He's very, very confident going into year two. And I asked him that question, what's the biggest difference between year one and year two? He said, being more familiar with his offense, understanding all of his reads, all of his checks, knowing exactly where his pass catchers will be in terms of the route concepts. And I saw that confidence being put on display today throughout practice. I mean, he was wheeling, he was dealing, he was taking shots down the football field. And one of the highlight throws of today happened in the red zone play. Kyle Pitts was lined up at the number 2 wide receiver, ended up running a 7 cut. Defensively in the secondary, they're playing basically a cover 2 type shell, deep to shallow. The corner had an opportunity to make the play, but just because of the elevation and the precision of that throw, it was a huge, outstanding completion from Michael Penix. And he just talked about, just knowing what to do with the football. So you look at the skill set, he has it. The attributes, he has it, along with the above-the-shoulder game, he has it as well. Now it's all about putting that on display week in and week out as they get ready for the season.
He's made it pretty clear, speaking to the media recently, saying that he plans on using all of his weapons around him to his advantage, specifically calling out running back Bijan Robinson, saying that he wants to use him, quote, as much as possible. If that's the case, and that's what we should expect to see, how much pressure will that take off of Penix Jr.?
A ton. Anytime you have balance offensively, that helps the passing game. That helps the quarterback. And quietly, Bijan had over 1,400 yards rushing. Quietly, he had 14 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that's a superior type year that no one really talks about because this is a team that missed the playoffs. So that happened in year 2. So one would think in year 3, we should see better numbers from Bijan Robinson. You should see offensive player of the year type numbers because he has that type of talent, not to mention being utilized more in the passing game than what we didn't see in year 2. So if they can get that going offensively with their star running back, you better believe this offense will be very, very a tough out. It will be a tough out for any defensive unit they face when they have that type of balance.
Let's get to the defensive side of the ball. The Falcons, as we know, went all in the first round of the NFL draft, picking up Jalen Walker from Georgia at pick 15, James Pierce Jr., edge rusher from Tennessee at pick 26. How did that side of the ball really look today, and just how much do they improve with those guys?
Talent. They added talent when they drafted those 2 players in the first round. I had an opportunity while watching practice, talking ball with Terry Fontenot, the GM here, and he talked about the instincts that made him fall in love with Jalen, that made him fall in love with James, that led to them drafting both players in the first round. And I saw the instincts put on display throughout the entire day today. Just, of course, the hand placement, those things, they're coachable attributes, but just the God-given instincts that they have was something that I expect to see, and I saw it today live up to the billing. So when you look at these 2 players, along with Leonard Floyd, that's another thing Terry was harping on, just the veteran presence of a guy like Leonard Floyd, that those 2 young players will respect in terms of listening to any coaching moment, any coaching points he can give to them actually will help them. So when you look at those 3 players, I think they instantly improve their defense because of their matchup problems that they can propose to any offensive lineman. So the sky is the limit. Of course, with any young player, any rookie player, you go through your growing pains, but so far these guys have really found a way to kind of have their imprint into this defense early on throughout training camp.
All right, that sounds like good news. This NFC South, not a easy division. The Bucs, of course, the favorites yet again to win it all, but the Falcons remain their biggest threat. How competitive do you expect Atlanta to be this season?
Well, I think they will be very, very competitive. Let's go back to a year ago. I mean, they were right there on the cusp of winning that division, but because of an untimely loss to the New Orleans Saints, that kind of played a part in them not winning the division, most importantly, missing the playoffs. But when you look at the talent level with the Atlanta Falcons offensively, let's start there. I mean, they're right there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of overall talent. Now you just need your quarterback to play to the level that we saw Baker Mayfield play at a year ago that led to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the division. Defensively, the issue for Atlanta Falcons over the last decade, it feels like the inability to do what? Sack the quarterback. You cannot be in the bottom barrel of that stat category and have any aspirations of getting into the playoffs. I do believe, when I talked about the players early on with James and Jalen Walker along with Leonard Floyd, that should help them in terms of being better in sacking the quarterback. If they're able to do that, this should be a very, very sticky division. Right now, as we see it today, unfortunately, it's a two-team race with Tampa and with Atlanta. Anything can happen with the Saints and Carolina, but as we see it today, it's a two-team race, and I do believe Atlanta will make this thing extremely dicey in terms of winning this division this year in the NFC South.
B-Mac, incredible insight as always. Stay dry out there, my friend. We appreciate you joining us live here on CBS Sports HQ. You can get all of the Atlanta Falcons and, of course, the NFL insight, analysis, the latest exclusive interviews right here on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free 24/7.